Hello my love, it's Rachel here, and today we are bringing some clarity to your spiritual practice. We're going to talk about how you can create, how you can craft, how you can build a practice that makes sense for you, that is going to bring clarity on your path, and that is going to help you to stay aligned with your essence when you need it the most. Some people, they come to our mentoring sessions and they tell me that it's very hard to stick to their practice, that they choose something. Doesn't matter if it is a card work, meditation, they can stick for like 15 days, 1 month, even 6 months, but it doesn't last. And sometimes they feel like they are a failure. They are a failure because of that. And I would like to invite you to approach this experience in a different way. So for me personally, spirituality is not a practice, it is a way of living. And the final goal, I would say, it is to navigate life having those lenses, the lenses of the spirituality. I would say that the practice that we have is something that we do more consciously, because we do live in a noisy world, right, in a busy world. So it's important for us to take the decision to have those moments. And those moments, they should not be an obligation, but a gift that you are giving yourself. That's how I see my practice, a huge, amazing, delicious gift that I give myself. So let's start with 3 tips that I have for you. And then I'm going to share a little bit about my own practice as well, right? So first thing that I always recommend my students, and I'd like to share with you as well, that's something that brought lots of clarity and keeps bringing clarity to my path. It is to journal about words and concepts. So what is the divine really? How do you call the divine? God, Goddess, universe, I don't know. How is your relationship with the divine? Really? Do you really have a relationship with the divine? Do you feel like you are close? You guys are close? You guys are the same? How do you feel that? How do you experience the divine? That's very important to understand, like, what is the soul for you? Or who are you? And sometimes we think that these kind of questions, they should be, well, they belong to philosophers only, and that's not true. I think it's an important part of our human experience to have some time to develop our own life, our philosophy about our lives as well. So that would be my first step. The second one would be to understand how this practice is actually going to support your life. Because some people, they create practices that they just don't know where they came from or what they are bringing to them, and it's hard for them sometimes to stick with this practice. So maybe practice that you are developing, it's going to help you with your relationships, because it's going to change the way that you approach people, you see people. Ask yourself how that way of thinking is shaping my reality. Like, I would say that is something important to understand, like, how is this practice and all these things that I believe in, how are they shaping the way that I navigate life, the way that I go to meet other people, how do I treat other people, how do I allow other people to treat me, what do I believe about my work, about money. So how is this practice and your spirituality actually shaping your life on a daily basis in practical things? Because spirituality is not about sitting at the top of a mountain and doing your meditation and you are super peaceful then. It is about the way that we are navigating life. Because this material world, I see this world as a laboratory, a gem, and a mirror, right? It's a school as well. So we are going to understand things when we interact with other people, when we see what's happening in the world. How do I feel? You know, when I see something happening, what kind of feelings those events, they trigger inside of me. Everything that is happening in the material world is an opportunity for us to do our inner work. The third thing that I think that is extremely important, as I told you, sometimes we can look at spirituality with the lenses of religion. So you must do it. It must be like this. It must be every day. It must be 1 hour per day. You know, lots of must do. You must do this, you must do that. Lots of rules, and we create those rules for ourselves as well. So if I create a rule that I'll have a successful spiritual life if I meditate every day. If I create a rule, if I can't meditate every day, I'm going to feel like I'm a failure. And you're not. Right? That's not the goal. So I would say that it's important, in my opinion, to see that moment as a gift. So what is that you really love? What is that it's something that you stop saying, oh my God, it's amazing for me. And here, because it is in spiritual practice, we are not talking about eating chocolate, sleeping, right? We are talking about something related to a spiritual practice. And I would say that, well, I usually call it personal spirituality because it's something that is lived on a personal level. Nothing can replace that experience. So what is that is meaningful for you? So I'm going to share a little bit of my practice. I never share everything about my practice because there's some areas in our craft of spiritual practice that must be or must remain secret. That's what I believe. That was probably based on all the trainings that I got throughout my life about alchemy, about Kabbalah and everything. There's some things that only belongs to you and the divine. You, your soul, who you are, and the divine. So we must not share everything. But I'm going to share some things that are, I think they can help you to understand a little bit about my practice. So something that is crucial about my practice, well, questioning. I like to make questions all the time. And the quality of these questions, they are important as well. And I would say that making good questions is something that I'm not sure if I was born with that gift or if I developed that over time. My students, they always say, Rachel, I can't believe the questions, like they open a whole universe inside my mind. The spreads that you created for our mentoring program, because spreads, they are the art of creating questions as well. So I like to create questions. I'm always making questions. The quality of the questions, they are important. We can talk more about it in another video. Another thing that is important for me in my practice are the inner journeys. So it is some kind of meditation. Meditation is important for me, but I like to go into my specific spiritual place. I have a spiritual place where I go. I can meet goddesses. I can meet some family members. I can meet whatever. I can get messages there. I can learn something. So it is my safe place where I go to experience something spiritually. So that's just one example. Then you can go into inner journeys with tarot cards as well, oracle cards, right? That's a meaningful part of my work. And of course, tarot and oracle decks, right? I love working with tarot and oracle decks because in the end of the day, you know that our human brain likes images much more than words. It's much easier for us to process images than words. And for me personally, I love beautiful things. I love art. I love to allow myself to be inspired and triggered by them. Something really huge happens when I'm working with the decks. And that's something very important for me. And then journaling. Journaling is something that I've been doing since I was a young child. So it's over 4 decades of journaling. And it is when I really find clarity, when I can, and the way that I practice journaling, I'm actually creating a map of my existence, my experience. So I can come back and find the path, let's say. I can find patterns and I can find answers. So I'm here sometimes, I go back to a journal from 10 years ago and I say, oh, look at that, right? Sometimes it's look how I was experiencing it the same thing 10 years ago. Like, wake up, Rachel. And I believe that if I am opening that journal today and seeing those entries and happening to read those entries, it is because I'm ready now to work on that issue, challenge, whatever. So journaling is something that is very important, and I think that it's important to write freely. You're not writing for other people, so it doesn't have to be beautiful, it doesn't have to be perfect in any sense, but it must be a place where you are having a register of your experience, your thoughts, and then you can come back and experience lots of wisdom. So this is a little bit, or I would say it's not a little bit, an important aspect, an important part of my own personal spiritual practice. What's yours? What makes sense for you? So, for example, the cards, I'm journaling for over 4 decades, as I told you, but the cards, since I started working with the cards back in 2015, 11 years now, I've been working with them almost on a daily basis. Now, if there's 1 week that I'm not going to sit and journal and do things, do I feel like I'm a failure? No, but I feel like something is missing. So I come back, because for me, that's not only a self-care, in a sense that I'm taking care of myself, of course, and that's my obligation to take care of myself, but it is something that I'm doing for others. Because when I am here studying and understanding and exploring this inner universe I have here, I'm becoming better for myself, a better person for myself and for others as well. And of course, as a consequence, for the world. I would say that that is our main life mission here. Our main life purpose is to do that work. That's the only work that nobody else can do for us. It's on us, guys. So I hope this video brings you some kind of clarity. If you like this kind of videos, check this one here. It was a pleasure having you here. Remember to leave in the comments down below. I want to know about your practice as well. Inspire us. And I'll see you in the next one. Sending you lots of love. Thank you, my dear.